Welcome, one and all.
He's from Blythe. You'll never ever beat Dan Burn. He's from Blythe. No, Marcus, you're not hosting the show. We're singing songs about Dan Burn today.
He's got an Adidas Predator head. He's got Klingon head. He's like Worf from Star Trek.
Oh, Pete Donaldson.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Was that better than Mickey van der Ven's goal?
Well, I mean, Van der Ven scoring like Messi on Tuesday, Dan Burns, James McAvoy and that shit on Wednesday. It doesn't get any better for the centre-backs. It doesn't get any better for the defenders. Well, fantastic.
We laid down the gauntlet to him yesterday on the show, I said, because he was saying that Newcastle need to be uglier. And we said, well, can he replicate what Van der Ven did? We thought it was unlikely.
Yeah. The answer is no.
No, he can't do that. But he does progress. He just progressed past the halfway line as a left back. But
he did it in his own unique way.
He did, yes.
Should we start there then?
No, start wherever you want. I just got excited.
I think Pete's decided where we're starting, hasn't he? Yeah. Running order be damned.
All right, let's tear
Running order be damned. That's what I said.
Let's tear up the script, Peter. And we're going to start with Newcastle United 2, Athletic Club Sporting Bilbao 0.
Be the change you want to be in life. Just start singing Dan Burn songs, and people will come along with you.
Oh, Athletic Club de Bilbao. You only do homegrown players. Have some of that from our homegrown player, you slugs.
Yes.
Oh, stuff your injuries.
I mean, the rest of them are from Brazil and Germany and Italy, but it's okay. Our homegrown player is better than all yours put together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what that header said to me.
If you haven't seen Dan Burn's goal, what are you doing with your life? But just
your
imagine this: the ball. I mean, I love the fact he drifts off to the back post as the free kick comes swinging in. People are a bit like Dan Burn's going. He'll be fine. He can't cause us any trouble.
They basically looked after Dan Burn as well as like a bunch of prison wardens looked after prisoners in the UK this week. Go where you want. We'll work it out later.
Yeah.
You will see David Lammy explaining Dan Burn's freedom of the pen in the comments tomorrow.
All of them wearing black and white stripes, but Dan Burn, he found himself in a great position. Still a lot to do with the header, and then. It appears that he's got this special move. He can transform his head into David Beckham's Adidas Predator wearing right boot.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. It was.
It's a Roberto Carlos banana header.
We're used to seeing players wide forwards cut inside and curl into the far post, but none of them are doing it with their bonds.
I'll tell you what. I thought I'd seen just about everything.
It was fantastic.
It was really extraordinary.
It was extraordinary, Des.
What a header.
What a header.
Yeah.
But all in all, a continuation of how they played against West Ham, but inexplicably won against a rather damaged Bilbao side.
Yeah, because Bilbao looks so small compared to them all.
Yeah.
Exactly,
but Newcastle look fucking gigantic. Russell said to me on WhatsApp, he said that because he was at the game last night, he said someone from the Bilbao backroom staff, one of them said to Andy apparently, this lot are fucking massive. like an under-9s team playing against an under-15s team or something. So
Voltemada, Joe Linton, Dan Burn. It was nice because I always, on the rare occasion that Newcastle play like a friend against Bilbao, they do share a rare friendship built on a match in like 1994 after UEFA Cup fixture.
I didn't know that.
A supporter got stuck in Newcastle and he stayed with the family, a Newcastle family. And when they came back for the second leg, the Bilbao, when they went away for the second leg, the Bilbao supporters welcomed the Newcastle supporters in because of that lovely family who took in a Bilbao fan.
That's despite them having Sunderland colours, Peter.
Exactly, yeah. I think Sunderland's also claim a kinship with them because of the colours. But, I mean, last season, Newcastle's strength was like playing in little triangles and in a really small space and then breaking the offside trap for easy to score. They cannot even pass 2 metres at the moment. They look absolutely turgid.
So swing the ball into the big man then.
So swing the ball into the big man. They seem to be sort of relying on that sort of thing. Obviously, the other goal was scored by a header as well. But Anthony Gordon going off injured has to be a bit of a blessing in disguise. He has not had a great start of the season.
Do you think he'll be thinking like that?
I think he probably just wants a bit of a rest. And I think
but he's done some of his best work in the Champions League, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I think you had to kind of play him because he scored the goals that he scored in the Champions League, but he was once again just could not keep hold of the ball. Like a lot of Newcastle United players, I think we spoke about on the mailbag. a lot of love that obviously Sandro Tonali has got at the moment, because he's a good player, an excellent player, playing in a very disjointed side, and he's doing the basics right, and he kind of stands out as a number 6 who can play a bit of football, because the rest of the side, and it's been going on since like just before the cup final as well, they're just not turning in any kind of performances. But with a depleted Bilbao side, they got through there in the 6th in the table, so you can't really complain. Maybe they're sort of concentrating on the Champions League this season, but
I think the physicality was a big difference, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. They really were bullied.
I expected more from a side who are officially called Athletic Club.
They should be more athletic.
It should be more athletic,
exactly,
yes.
Yeah, no, they should be.
Yeah.
I tell you, with regard to what you're saying, Pete, with how Newcastle play, because they have been a bit disjointed this season, certainly in the Premier League, it does look like, as I say, when you win the League Cup and you have that celebration like they did, Howe's thinking, people are prioritising the Premier League. I'm prioritising the Cups. I want more of that.
Maybe they are, yeah.
Imagine if we won the FA Cup, for example. But I do actually think, I was listening to a few pundits and reading a few things about Newcastle, there does seem to be a sense, and you might say, well, that's all a bit convenient, but there does seem to be a little sense that Nick Voltemade is actually the perfect striker. In fact, maybe at times a better fit than, say, Isak in this Newcastle side, because he's quite tidy. I mean, Vish and I were likening him to Roberto Firmino the other week. Even if he's not scoring, he's linking the play, he's knocking the ball about.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's perhaps a little bit churlish to say that at this stage, because obviously Voltemade got 4 Premier League goals under his belt, and Isak was, very, very prolific the last 2 seasons.
As I say, a convenient sort of opinion to have at the moment. I get that totally.
Totally, but I do understand the appeal of that opinion. I think he does seem to slot in a lot more naturally, maybe, but I think it's also been exacerbated by the trials and tribulations, some of which have been self-inflicted, that Isak's going through at the moment as well. It kind of makes it look like you've almost can't believe we got rid of him, because look at the state of him, and now we've got this fella in, and we saved out X amount of money. So I totally get that. I do think it's a bit early to say though.
Peter, Eddie Howe called the win an important response to West Ham, and he was right, because that was pretty diabolical. But the
way he said it is like he's calling out West Ham. What do you think of that, West Ham?
West Ham?
You do that?
Yeah. We can do that. Yeah, exactly.
We've all won. We've won a European trophy, Eddie. We've all won trophies in the last couple of years. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I think it was the right response. I mean, not too dissimilar to Spurs. They needed a response after the Chelsea game. They got it, and Newcastle. This was. Perhaps, maybe they weren't fizzing and scintillating in periods of the game, but that didn't matter. I think just a solid, fairly calm 2-0 win, I think that'll absolutely do, because these games, Athletic Club, they're not brilliant at the moment, they're kind of mid-table in the Liga, but how many times in the
still a Liga side, aren't they?
Exactly, they're still a side who know how to play. I mean, they were okay, beaten by Ruben Amorim's Man United last season, but they still got to the semi-final of the Europa League. They're no chumps in European competition. So I think this was, okay, you'd rather it be 4-0 and absolutely blinding football, but that seems to be unlikely when you mention about Gordon needing a rest. Bruno Guimaraes apparently played suffering from a little bit of illness, but Newcastle have looked a little bit leggy. So I think a solid, calm, no-nonsense Champions League win, I think you can't really complain there.
If that was the case, I would be fine. But they did have a lot of chances, Bilbao. Nick Pope was very, very involved. So they weren't prime chances, but there were a lot of. They did. He had a lot.
There was a
of
shot from
to
distance which Pope saved well.
There was about 3 or 4 in the last sort of 20 minutes.
They had more shots on target than Newcastle did. 5-4 apparently.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight for me was very much straight after, like about 3 seconds after Joe Linton scored his header. Valverde, the manager at Bilbao, having trouble with a bottle cap. He could not. He was trying to get water in his mouth, and the little bottle cap kept flicking him in the face. And he's like, "Oh, get it off, get it off!"
Yeah.
Oh, you think it's bad we're 2-0 down? How bad would it be if the manager dehydrates to death on the touchline? Well, think about me.
Surely, if you've got a bottle by the pitch or on the terraces or whatever, they should be taking the cap off for him.
Yeah, yes, the problem is now, you guys look, and I understand why, I'm totally sympathetic to the reasons why, but the caps are now attached to the bottle themselves, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's hard to take them off. Yeah. And I think that causes certain logistical problems for men of a certain age, of which I am one.
Well, he should have a drinks bottle then.
He should have.
Give him a straw. Give him one of those drinks bottles with a straw.
He can have my son's Pokemon one if he wants.
Charge him.
Oh,
Do charge
lovely.
him. All right, then. Let's turn our attention to what happened in Azerbaijan last night. Qarabag 2, Chelsea 2.
Right, it's a long way to go it's a long way to go to have quite an average time.
It's not the longest way to go, but it is a long way to go, Luke. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Again, Luke, Chelsea, they show little bits and pieces, ultimately slightly disappointing, and some of the same old things with Chelsea. You see a bit of inexperience, bit of inconsistency, despite the quality they have.
Yeah, I think I would just add, though, that Qarabag have been a little bit underrated. They've had some positive results in the Champions League this season. They're managed by Kurbanov, which is pleasing.
He's been there for a long time, old Kurban.
He has. And they had their moments. Chelsea went a goal ahead. For those who didn't see this game, Chelsea went a goal ahead. And then Qarabag had this amazing passage of play where they scored. A brilliant reaction by Andrade to score. I mean, it's a great passage of play. Ball comes back off the post from Duran, and Andrade reacts on the volley to put it in the back of the net. Duran was unfortunate to score actually with it, but nevertheless they equalised. And then essentially Jarell Harto had an absolute beast of 15 minutes where he was burnt up for fun for the first goal, and then he concedes a penalty, which perhaps in years gone by would have been seen as quite unfortunate, but in the way the modern laws of the game are, is a penalty. Yeah. And then Qarabag find themselves 2-1 ahead, and then Chelsea have got to claw their way back in. I thought Esteval was really good for Chelsea. I think he's going to be an absolute well beater because his quality at his age is just unbelievable. He's got that quality. He's not as good as Lamine Yamal, but let me make a comparison in one small way, which is that he's got quality that's so good it makes you forget his age.
Yeah, totally.
And that's really telling of a player, particularly an attacking player. So 18 years old, and he looked bright as a button when he came on against Spurs as well. Look, Chelsea didn't need to be very good against Spurs. We talked about that earlier in the week. Qarabag are a team who seemed to me, I saw a bit of them against Benfica as well, a game which they won. They're able to put together periods of play, even against good teams, where they can really make an impact, and they did that last night. Chelsea looked a little bit disjointed. They also looked a little bit leggy. But
Maresca said about the Club World Cup.
Yeah, Maresca did say that, and fine. I mean, that might be a convenient fig leaf, or it might be true. Who knows? I mean, players do play a lot of football these days. But I think that actually the way that the Champions League season has transpired so far, I don't actually think an away draw at Qarabag is too bad.
I don't think it's terrible, no.
So I don't think they don't have to be navel-gazing about it. I mean, Harto will be disappointed with his performance for sure. I thought Caicedo was different gravy when he came on. He is absolute granule. He's so good, Caicedo. Like he is. I don't know. It's probably a bit of a fool's errand to be talking about the best midfield players in the world. Because there's so many different types of them and different systems and stuff. But, I mean, he's in the conversation. I mean, he came on in this game. Obviously, Maresca wants to rest him because he plays a lot. He just looked a million times better than every other player.
Yeah,
he was so good.
Do you remember when they first signed him? People saying, all that money and he's not really cutting the mustard. He's not really doing too much. And he's grown into it. It is a reminder for those who are, thinking, Florian Wirtz is done at Liverpool or whatever. It sometimes does take a little bit of time. And there's no doubt about it, Chelsea have, for all that money they paid, because you're also buying potential. The big transfers nowadays, back in the day, it used to be guys in their mid to late 20s. Nowadays, you're buying that potential as well, and also that youthful exuberance, the players that can press all day long and they can run, for fun essentially. He's still improving, which is the frightening prospect. He's mad. He's absolutely magnificent.
I think if you look at, I haven't seen Caicedo every single game this season, of course, but you look at the performances he's put in this season. If you go up against, he obviously plays in the two. In front of the back four usually with Fernandez, but obviously there are other options there for Chelsea. But if you go 2 versus 2 with him in midfield, he'll eat you alive. Yeah. The only performance I can think of where he's not quite been top quality weirdly enough was against Sunderland, when Sunderland just packed the midfield. They played like 5 and a 4 across, and they played 4, and they were quite narrow, and he found it tough. But other than that, he's brilliant, and he was a real asset to them when he came on, as you'd expect. It was also interesting to see Liam Delap come on as well,
Yes.
and have another run out.
Yeah, really good to see back. You mentioned about Chelsea and Maresca saying, well, I mentioned it, that he invoked the Club World Cup card, which I heard one or two people say about PSG when they lost to Bayern. And fair enough, it probably still is. They had a full-on summer. Chelsea, the changes to their starting lineups in all competitions this season far outweigh anybody else in the Premier League. So of all the Premier League clubs in all competitions, if you're still with me there, Chelsea have made 85 changes already this season to their starting lineup. Liverpool are the next side with 69. So it shows you that, because the next side is Arsenal 67, Brentford 66. So it's all kind of similar. Fulham 66. You've got a pack of clubs in there in the kind of 60 odd changes. So that's not too dissimilar. Chelsea with 85 changes. I don't know what that suggests to me. It could be that Maresca's thinking, we're tired, we need to just rotate as much as possible, or he doesn't really know who his best team is. They're such a baffling side at the moment because they've got quality, they've got performances in them. I think they're doing okay in the Champions League so far this season. But I saw them against Benfica, for example. They were pretty pedestrian against a pretty poor Benfica side. I know Mourinho was there. And then you see them against Spurs, should have put them away, only win 1-0, okay. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, and yet, like I've said, they'll probably end up qualifying again for the Champions League, winning a trophy. It's the Chelsea way. It's kind of
the good news is they're playing Wolves at home next time.
Yeah, well,
so,
I'll probably draw that.
Sort yourselves out.
A bit of a funny one with Chelsea. I still don't quite know what to think. I thought we would maybe know a bit more about them, Maresca having a season under his belt, but still alive very much. And as you mentioned, look, I don't think a draw is terrible. One thing, Peter, about the Qarabag home support that I noticed, a lot of phones in the air, like they were at a concert.
Yeah, there was a lot of lights, weren't there?
Right, okay, like a Coldplay concert or a
it was.
concert,
you could choose Coldplay if you want.
Right. Well, if they were in,
could have had you too
with the band with the little bands you wear around the wrist, innit? Remember they famously had the kind of things that would sync up with the music that they were playing.
No, this is very much
as if to distract from what they were.
No, this is just very much people have just turned their lights on their phones, the torches.
Okay, nice. Okay, well maybe we should do a bit more of that. Maybe we could have like a little sort of a tifo, like a Chinese drone display, like a Chinese firework drone display. Like
that'd be
some
amazing.
people, we make little faces and stuff. Like you can't. Confiscate light at the door, can you? So you may bring in an offensive tifo and have it confiscated, but you can't confiscate a mobile phone light, can you?
No, I also think it would be a nice touch to have those wristbands, and then when your team completes a pass, they flash up green.
Yeah.
If they score a goal, it's a big rainbow wristband. Yeah. And if they concede, it goes red or something. Like, that'd be good.
Or you could flash out Morse offensive chants.
Yeah, could do
stuff about the war and that
for the deaf viewers. You can feel part of it.
Can enjoy the nonsense.
Yeah. Coming up after this, Phil Foden sends a big old message to Thomas Tuchel.
Just going back to Donnarumma, what does he give you that you didn't have?
He's so tall. That gives us is so huge.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. I mean, Pep Guardiola is right. He's a monster of a man in goal.
Could he just be close up rather than? Could he just be too close? Does he just not respect personal space? Maybe
it's not how height works, is it, Peter?
It's not height.
That time when I
wouldn't know, Marcus. We simply wouldn't know, my friend.
That time, Peter, when we were at the bar in that indie club, and I leant in for the kill, and you went, "Oh, you're shorter than I thought." I went off with my tail between my legs, quite frankly. Anyway, we don't have time for that.
And then you noticed that Pete had his platform shoes on. Simon Cowell built up Cubans.
Bring back the Bay City roll, as I say. If we can have flared sort of skate pants, why can't I have massive platformed etnies with them?
Nobody's talking you out of it, other than yourself.
No one's stopping you, mate.
Yeah.
No, I'll do it, and then you'll take the mick like usual. I'll express myself with my clothes.
And you very much do. And we champion you naughty bastard. Anyway, Manchester City 4, Borussia Dortmund 1. Phil Foden, he's back. Come on.
I'll tell you what, as well, and it's a measure of the quality of the man's output, of how good that selfie was that he took with the fan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a quality piece of work, that photo.
Totti-esque.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see people tweeting. Grabbing someone's phone, posting to social media. I don't just want a selfie. I want people actually posting that picture.
So he celebrates a goal by
Yeah.
tweeting on a fan's phone, release the Epstein files, Trump, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What I really-
I had to bring a wrestling again, but there was a wrestler who, during the middle of a match, picked up a fan's phone. It was all at work. It was his friend's phone, and he basically tweeted, "Bored at work, lol."
Yeah. What I
carried on with the match.
I'm going to have to say this because if anybody has seen this selfie and does see it, is surely going to make the same observation as me. You look at the guy who is next to Phil Foden, you go, that can't be his arm round Phil Foden.
Yeah,
oh no, it's another bloke's
exactly.
arm. Okay.
Yeah, another bloke behind him.
Yeah.
So some excellent teeth on display as well, by the way. It's a very good quality photo.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to emphasise.
Is that guy just a fan, or does he know Phil Foden? Because they look very much in perfect harmony.
I think he's just a fan. I think he had a half and half scarf on.
He does.
I think he just picked him at random.
Yeah.
I don't know of any link between them, but it was great. I mean, listen, Foden was good. He has been good here and there this season, hasn't he? He's kind of feeling his way back. But I would say that if you look at the scoreline here and you look at what tends to happen with Manchester City home games in the Champions League, you think, oh, this is an open shut case, right? Actually, Dortmund had some moments. Dortmund had passages of play that were actually pretty decent. And obviously scored. Were unlucky not to score more than once. And Cherky putting the cherry on top at the end was also kind of interesting because I think he's he's a great player, Cherky, great creative player. Interesting to see him at City for the reasons that people have said before. But he actually had 2 or 3 opportunities before that to play Haaland in. They were really kind of obvious through balls. Haaland making the runs he makes and everyone being frightened of him, so he gets loads of space.
Yep.
And Cherky just kept overplaying it, and then he nips in, looks like he misses another chance to put someone in, but then scores. That was a real kind of massaging of Cherky's performance, I thought. I think he's still getting up to speed.
Well, when you say about people making the comments they did when he signed for them, actually, I remember Vish and agreeing with him that I wasn't sure he was the type of player
but that's exactly what I'm alluding to.
Right, okay, so that Pep would have wanted, and you're right, even with the goal, I thought, pass the ball earlier. But then again, with the spirit of Mickey van der Ven hovering over all of this Champions League week, he thought, no, I'm going to bloody well go myself. And fair play, he scored. But it was all about Phil Foden. I mean, Haaland crashed one in, and he will do that. But Foden, just lovely to see that classic Phil Foden move where he picks the ball up.
Totally.
Just right of sort of the centre of the pitch in an attacking sense, opens the body and just wafts it into the corner. You kind of know what he's going to do, but you want him to do it. Like it really is superb, because we know last season wasn't his best. Bearing in mind he was the player of the season before that. We know what highs he can hit, of course. He's mentioned off-field stuff that has been a bit of a challenge and distraction, whatever that may be, and we don't seek to know what that is, of course. But for him to do this, and Guardiola pretty much said, didn't he? Phil's back. That's that's pretty much what he was saying in some of his quotes. He said back to his best form, and he even touted him for a return to the England squad. And I'll tell you something, Pete Donaldson,
said that
this is bad news for Jude Bellingham.
Pep did say that in his position there are a lot, but Thomas knows perfectly how good Phil is, which is a lovely phrase that you could say in any accountancy firm. Thomas knows how good Phil is at the taxes. He just knows.
Yeah. It always comes back to taxes with Pete. He's like Trump.
Always, yeah.
He's like
the
projection Pete goes through on the show with taxes.
It's looming large. The January cut-off, the January 30th cut-off is looming large in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was great. But the worst thing for me was seeing Rodri on the sidelines wearing a woolly hat. Wearing a woolly hat.
It was about 50. It was very
injured again with a hamstring.
Oh.
I know ACLs can cause other issues, but with a bad hamstring,
it's a very
sat on the
clement evening
sidelines
as well.
Yeah, that's what
wearing a woolly hat.
I thought that's what
It's
you
not
were getting
acceptable.
at, Peter. That in a mild evening, you shouldn't be doing that.
No, put the hat on your legs. Put the hat on your ACL. I would say.
I feel like I'm the jacket police. when it's a mild evening and people wearing these massive bit, and I'm like, I almost want to say to him, you're mugging yourself off, because when it turns really cold, have you got a one doubly as thick as that? Because I bet you haven't.
Marcus, what people do is they say to themselves in the morning when they're out to get ready for work, they just say to themselves, it's November now.
Yeah.
They don't look at the temperature.
That's
they just
right.
go, it's November, so I'm wearing a coat.
I couldn't
And
agree.
you don't always need to.
It's
important to remember that.
That's exactly
And Rodri
right.
should know better.
Yeah, he should
Mind
know.
you, Rodri is from Spain, of course. He's used to far more mild temperatures, so maybe he feels it more keenly than the rest of us.
When is he going to integrate, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
He's wearing woolen goods. I'd say that's an integration.
Exactly.
Enough, isn't it?
Imagine that after the game. The TNT Sports interviewer goes up to him. Rodri, we have a way of life here in the UK. And we're going to need you to assimilate.
Yeah, come
Get
on.
the hat off.
At 29, you should be getting that hat off.
Yeah.
There was a lovely passage of play in this game because Haaland was captain last night, at least for a portion of the game. Because he's so because he's got such a kind of almost like innocent face and he's like pleased and stuff all the time. I could tell he was really proud to be the captain. And when Emre Can came off the bench, who obviously is had a great career, great player, but a very combative midfield player, he got right in Haaland's face. And at one point there was a big kind of tussle in midfield, and Emre Can didn't pull Haaland's shirt, but what he did is he got a good fist of Haaland's captain's armband and basically tried to rip it off his arm. And Haaland got mortally offended by this and was like screaming at him and trying to put it back on. And it was a very interesting passage of play. It was like Shannon thought, right, I think I know how to get to this guy. I mean, he's already scored at this point and they're going to lose, so it's a bit too late. But he can only do what he can do because he started on the bench and he went right after Haaland. It was actually quite pleasing.
Well, maybe he thought to himself, what's the one thing I can take off this guy? Aha, the armband, which he's worked so hard to get. So elsewhere in the Champions League, Club Brugge, or Club Brugge as we used to affectionately call them.
What a game this was.
Drew 3-3 with Barcelona.
Did you guys know that Club Brugge play in a stadium named after the leader of 14th century uprising against the French?
I think we all were aware of that.
Know that.
I think
Did
we
It's
were
got to
know
be the
that.
only stadium it's probably European football because people aren't going to rise up
about the
against
Arnold
it.
Schwarzenegger
Well, maybe they would.
Stadium?
I think it's got to be the only stadium named after such a figure.
Arnold Schwarzenegger Stadium.
Yeah, I don't
Where's
think he
that?
had an uprising against the French, did he?
He suppressed a lot of
Check his films.
Central
Yeah.
American soldiers in Commando.
Yeah,
Killed-
exactly.
Forget
Killed a lot of robots in the near future in Los
No, that was
Angeles.
fake, Peter. Anyway, so Barcelona drew 3. I mean, it's a great point for Club Brugge.
I mean, wasn't there a TB outbreak though? If you're talking about historical goings on, I mean, a TB
It's not from
outbreak
raw milk,
in
is it?
Barcelona. It's not
That'd
yet.
be more E.
Maybe.
coli.
I've no idea.
Maybe,
I just hope
guess
Marcus
so, yeah.
Rashford's okay, and everybody else, but particularly
everybody
Marcus
else.
Rashford. Before the game, there were fears of a tuberculosis outbreak at the Nou Camp after a member of the team working on the redevelopment tested positive. Now, of course, Barcelona have been playing their games elsewhere in the old Olympic Stadium, but quite worrying.
Have they taken TB to Belgium or not?
I hope not. I really
No, I
hope
don't.
not.
That's a good point, actually. No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously been a lot of talk about Lamine Yamal's groin. He's scoring goals and having a nice time, and he's not missed that many games, obviously. But there are kind of rumours suggesting that he's got a condition that will be with him for the rest of his career. He came out in the back of this match and basically said there's been a lot of lies about my groin. So, will everyone stop lying about Lamine Yamal's groin,
Yeah, when
please?
Pete says that at the office,
Exactly.
it's a problem.
Stop talking about, children's groins.
But I mean, joking aside, clearly it's a worry for a player that explosive at such a tender age, because we've seen similar players in the past, perhaps not as good as Yamal, of course, but who play in that way, who've had serious problems and haven't been able to play as late in their careers as perhaps they would have liked. So, I mean, it's an interesting point.
We've obviously had this chat. I mean, the aforementioned Rodri himself spoke about it, but the amount of football youngsters play, are they going to burn out by the time they're in their late 20s or whatever? We shall see. Hopefully not. But yeah, you hope he's protected, because it's such an obvious thing to say, but you've got to say it's such an incredible player to watch. But well done, Club Brugge, though, in a very entertaining game.
Well, the manager used to manage Haverford-West County, so
That's a
what
great
more?
stat.
Yeah.
That's
Is
why
that
you
true?
that's why you cut your teeth.
He's earned that point. He really has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
that's incredible. What a journey.
The first Belgian manager to work in the Welsh Premier League.
Marvellous stuff.
Then straight into playing Barcelona in the Champions League, a couple of postings away. Fantastic.
I told you before, if I could play in any European club, I mean, Brugge would be up there for me. It's just such a great place.
You just love the chocolate.
I love the city. It's an amazing place. And I know there'll be places in southern Spain and parts of Italy which would be beautiful as well, and probably many other European places. But for me, I'd absolutely love to play for Club Brugge.
Would you?
I would.
I'd like to play for Bath City if we're going on that kind of
I'd like to play for Real Madrid. Here's one for, enjoying yourself and hope.
Yeah,
You'd be the first Bottomans player to play for Real Madrid. what a legacy.
I'll put Bottoman on the map, mate.
I think you already have. Now, moving on from all that, did you see that former Manchester United and Leeds United and other clubs' defender and former TNT sports pundit Rio Ferdinand said he's moved to Dubai away from England because the United Kingdom is apparently, according to Rio, falling apart. He's told LBC if things like the health service, for example, was absolutely flying and working perfectly.
Oh, this NHS is flying. This NHS is flying.
If it was absolutely flying and working perfectly well, then I think people wouldn't mind paying tax. I sit there and go, we pay towards tax, and is it really going towards the things that are actually benefiting the people that live here? Well, Rio, I sincerely hope that you find out what a very, very well-funded and liberal land Dubai is if you got on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah, enjoy paying for paying £5 for a Snickers as well. It may not be a lot of tax, but the prices are expensive.
I think it's amazing. It's an amazing kind of logic from Rio because some people would agree with the assessment. The UK could be better. The infrastructure is crumbling. So Rio's diagnosis would just be, so really wealthy people like me who've done really well under the British system, a rules-based democracy where, taxes have gone towards, things like my education and me being able to travel to training and all the rest of it. I'm going to pay less of that and see if it improves. This to me sounds like... the opening salvo in Rio Ferdinand's quest to become London mayor, because all those guys, fucking right wing types, they all live in Dubai as well.
I just love the Addison Lee men of England telling the rest of us what a shithole our country is. Like they leave their country mansions, they get in their Addison Lee taxis, a taxi firm in London. That one's for you, Spelsy. And they head to some unlovable trading estate to do a bit of telly on a big green screen. They get their dinners delivered to them by runners on the company account, and then they're back in their Addison Lees and go home, and then they go, this country is rubbish. I'm always out there witnessing it. Fuck off with Phil Collins, fuck off with Sean Connery and Al Capone and whichever fucking fools are out there. Whichever fucking tax exiles are fucking
listen, if we are going to talk about tax specifically, you want to recuse yourself,
there.
Peter.
I would like to stay in your granny annex, please. Can I stay in your granny flat?
I was with you with Phil Collins, and then you mentioned two blokes who are both dead. One of them has been dead a while, never lived in England or the UK. Yeah, exactly. And the other one who'd famously buggered off years ago. So, okay. But I take
they're all tax exiles, and the Formula One drivers, they all got to Monaco, don't they?
Al Capone was a tax exile. I mean, certainly tax was a problem, but
Yeah.
I once worked with Rio Ferdinand, and he was 2 hours late, and then spent another half an hour complaining about how much he hated lateness. And that is true. That is a true fact.
Nice. Dr. Heal thyself. Can't NHS.
Yeah. Coming up after this, FIFA have got a new award, and we have literally no idea who will win it. Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Now, before we talk about tonight and the FIFA award, I just want to quickly drop into the Championship, if I may, as we've got a teensy bit of time. A little mensch for Frank Lampard and Coventry City. They're flying high in top spot. Are you enjoying this, Luke Moore, seeing gorgeous Frank doing very, very well?
I have an admiration for the indefatigability of Frank Lampard in his quest to become a good manager. I think they've been really good this season. I saw a bit of them at Fratton Park a few weeks ago where they won and they were good. But he is clearly so dedicated to being a manager and wanting to achieve and taking, if I may be so bold, quite unfashionable jobs at times as well. A quest to improve and to be better. And I think, if you look at him compared to the person that he's often compared to in John Terry in terms of their Chelsea time and that kind of generation of Chelsea players, I mean, John Terry sitting around complaining about not being given jobs, and Frank Lampard while doing ridiculous YouTube adjacent kind of entertainment programs, and Frank Lampard's out there doing it in a tough league, and he's doing it well. It's clear the players respect him. You see footage of him behind the scenes. You know, he does seem like a pretty credible character, I think. And Coventry have been really good this season. They had an amazing game against Wrexham a week or so ago as well, which they came off on the wrong end of, and I believe that's the first game they lost in the league this season. So I mean, yeah, if you look at the stats as well, it's pretty impressive. I mean, they've scored 39 goals in 14 championship games. The next highest scoring team have scored 23. Yeah. So they're flying. They are flying.
I think when Lampard was first kind of mentioned in relation to this job, obviously Mark Robins had done such a good job to get them where they were, and I think a lot of supporters were like, oh, come on, is this going to be like a bit of a Rooney kind of situation? Because his managerial sort of record is a bit mixed, but he's just done an astonishing job. And like you say, look, respect does go quite a long way for players who are sort of coming up through the Championship and like getting them to where they need to be. And I'm so glad that Coventry are having good times after 15 years of just the worst time possible. It really has been famine to feast.
Yeah, and I think
I'm enjoying it.
I think it's all fair comment, actually. And you know, if you look at the interview Lampard did quite recently with the Sky Sports YouTube channel, talking about how he goes about how he does what he does, it's pretty insightful. And like I say, there is some decent footage of him behind the scenes with the Coventry players. You know, and he clearly has dedicated himself to the job. You know, he's been eaten up in the Premier League at times, hasn't he? You know, Everton, he found it really tough, and there's possibly other reasons for that. But I think it speaks, you know, people have their opinions on Lampard, everyone does, you know, for different reasons. But I do think it speaks to his dedication, that at the age of 47, he's a multi-millionaire. He clearly wants to achieve. And, you know, if you're a player at Championship level, and you see a man like Lampard dedicating himself to the job, but also the playing career he's had, the experience he's got, the relatability of that, and you can speak with real authority, football from the very top level, European level, international level, Premier League level. You know, it's a great thing for a club like Coventry, and most importantly, of course, is the results on the pitch, and they've had that this season so far. And if they carry on, like I say, they carry on the way they're going, they're going to walk the league, but they'll be promoted.
Oh, and if he is indeed the man who gets Coventry City back in the Premier League, what an achievement that would be. Did you like it though? So when they beat Sheffield United, Chris Wilder, Sheffield United, of course, the indie rock band The Enemy performed before kickoff. I mean, he and they are playing all the right notes.
Can we take back everything we said? They should be in League Two.
Well, do you know what?
Oh, come on, Peter.
Send them back to League Two.
I've had enough.
Bring back Sisu
of you.
Bring back the hedge fund.
Can I throw a bit of support the way of The Enemy as well? And not for musical reasons, because they're not really my cup of tea. But they are fiercely proud to be from Coventry. Yep. They've always been really supportive of like the working class in Coventry as well.
He hates that.
They are synonymous with the city and the football club, and I think they're actually, you know, pretty like decent ambassadors for a city that is regularly forgotten about. If you're talking about, you know, earlier about, you know, taxation and places, you know, that have been left behind by modern society and infrastructure and the rest of it, you could look no further than somewhere like Coventry. Yep. And The Enemy, for all their musical failings, of which there are many in my personal view, they are clearly very, very dedicated to the city and the football club, and I think they deserve credit for that.
Yeah.
Peter,
look, they're out there insteid of staying.
You're
at
either
home
a working class
watching.
champion, Pete, or you're not, mate. Make your mind up.
Richard and Joe Doy.
Lovely one.
I personally made £4,000 out of them once, so I'm absolutely on board with The Enemy.
Unbelievable.
They were doing Nike was doing a Run London night marathon. And I was involved as part of XFM's thing down there, and I couldn't make the timings work to go and interview the Enemy for their Nike payola gig, and they and I said no like twice, and then they kept upping their price until it was a competitive £4,000. And I was like, yes, and then and the enemy turned up. I interviewed them, and it was a Nike event, but they all turned up with like Adidas clothes on, so they had to have all of their clothes taped up. So I am massive as a working class trader myself. I'm well into the enemy, and the amount of that's proper. Never got that again money for anything.
Did you pay your tax on that, Peter?
No, God, no. Didn't declare it. Didn't extracurricular. Didn't declare it. Helping Coventry. That's if you help Coventry, in the same way that EastEnders that help Coventry, the Coventry Tourist Board by saying that when you leave Albert Square, you go to Coventry.
It's none of Mark and I's business, but it's between you and the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Peter. Leave us out of it.
Exactly. It's a good point. Good point.
Makes me want to move to Cuba. All this. That's what it does. Or North Korea, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Marcus would rather live in North Korea than Coventry. There's your headline.
That's not what I said, and that's not what I said.
Disgraceful from a man of Surrey.
Piss off.
They put away a lot of beer, Marcus, and you're not a drinker, so I don't think you'd enjoy it.
I know. They certainly wouldn't allow me and my Bible in there. Before we move on from Championship stuff, Luke, I need to get your opinion on this. Southampton got their first win since September last night, so we'd all say well done to them. Before the game, a fan called in to BBC Radio Solent, a radio station that you know well, and he was begging for Matt Le Tissier to take charge of the club after Will Still's sacking.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to throw as much support as possible behind that appointment. Totally agree. As ever, show solidarity with the good people of Southampton.
Yep.
I think that's an appointment they should make post haste.
Yep.
It's the answer to all their problems, but probably a creator of quite a lot of other problems.
Okay, great. Now, tonight, three more English sides in action in European competition. Aston Villa host Maccabi Tel Aviv. Much has been made about that game already. Nottingham Forest head to Austrian side Sturm Graz. And Crystal Palace play AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League. Palace need a win, Peter, after that disastrous loss at home to AK Larnaca.
I mean, the way they're playing, though, you would imagine they'll get there, surely. They've picked things up massively.
Surely.
I mean, but they have to. I'm really looking forward to this match. It's absolutely... It's a stunner. It's a Thursday night stunner, Marcus.
You don't get too many Thursday night stunners, if we're brutally honest, Luke, in Europe. But I think Palace, I think, have caught the imagination of a lot of neutral fans as well with their Conference League jaunt. It's great to see them in Europe. I know it's not the competition they should have been in, of course, but they're still in there. And AZ Alkmaar boast one Troy Parrott, lest we forget.
Well, how could I ever forget such a seismic news?
Yeah, I've set you up for a bit of a preview of AZ Alkmaar there, so don't let me get in your way to finish it off.
Well, I'm not going to wax lyrical about AZ Alkmaar because I'm unable to.
Okay.
But they've their opponents in the shape of Crystal Palace have got a very big week, because you're right to point out that a poor result recently in the Conference League, a competition they should really be among the favourites for. But they've also got a gigantic game at the weekend in the shape of a home fixture against Brighton.
Oh,
so it's a big few days for Oliver Glasner and his men.
Well, it is. It really is. And tonight, of course, they are going to have to try and get past, I assume he'll be starting and go, Rome Jaden Owusu Oduru. He's got a double-barrelled first name and a double-barrelled second name.
Greedy.
You don't get too many of them to the pound. Now, the FA have charged Crystal Palace with misconduct after their fans displayed a banner depicting Evangelos Marinakis holding a pistol, a gun, a firearm to Morgan Gibbs White's head.
They should be rewarded.
I think they should. I think the FA, it's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but sometimes, dare I suggest, Peter, in the face of potential chaos, should the rules just be relaxed every now and then for banter's sake?
What, like the Purge? Just one night off? One night off for tifos. Put together whatever horrific bedsheet tifos you want to do once and potentially some braille work with some mobile phones.
I think the FA are frightened of Evangelos as well.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I mean, if Crystal Palace are right in what they're saying, then we should all be frightened.
Morgan Gibbs White's output has been amazing this year. Like he was like, he is clearly so frightened of Evangelos Marinakis. The amount of support he was throwing behind Ange Postecoglou for weeks on end. Every single game he was saying, "Oh, it's brilliant. It's going to click soon." He did it half an hour before Postecoglou was walked out of the club.
Maybe it was going to work though.
What's wrong with, we all want a bit.
What's wrong with the dreamer?
What's wrong with a bit of loyalty in football, eh?
Exactly.
Right.
Loyalty at the point of a gun. You can't beat it.
Now,
gunpoint loyalty.
speaking of loyalty, Gianni Infantino will present the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize at the draw for the 2026 World Cup. The award is designed to acknowledge individuals who have helped to unite people all over the world in peace. Now, just last month, he did say that FIFA cannot solve geopolitical problems. But
it can award the people who can.
Well, exactly.
Inaccurately.
So
you can award the people who can, but don't.
Yeah. So I mean, we know that we have the Nobel Peace Prize. All right, that's in the bag.
That's
all right. That's
in the bag.
We've had that for a while.
That's not going to Donald Trump.
But do we have another one that somebody could win? So yeah.
What a appalling, lick-spittle, snivelling, quizzling bastard Gianni Infantino has proven himself to be.
Look, we don't know where this prize is going.
Yeah.
We don't know where this prize is going. We can have a guess. Sure we can.
It's not me, is it me?
It might be you.
Peter, Peter, I bet Luke's mortgage that Donald Trump wins that prize.
Yeah. And for once, I'm actually not unhappy about that. That seems like a pretty safe bet.
The amount of times I've bet Luke's mortgage, I've always won, though, fortunately, for his sake.
Yeah.
So the draw is on the 5th of December, by the way, I should say.
Yeah.
So it's not that far away.
I'm really excited about the 5th of December draw.
The draw for who's going to get the Peace Prize, or the draw for the World Cup?
No, the draw for the World Cup. But every new thing they keep adding to this is just like, yeah, you really are taking the shine off this, please. So please don't. Please don't do any of this.
If you don't think Donald Trump's going to win it, who do you think is going to win it?
I mean, there's an outside chance that like Cristiano Ronaldo will be giving it or something. It'll be Trump. It's been created for Trump exclusively, clearly, hasn't it?
It's a very cynical view, that, Luke Moore. Cristiano Ronaldo said that Donald Trump is one of the men who can help change the world. I mean, as the president...
Which is technically true.
I would amend his statement to the president of the United States of America is one of the... I mean, it has been men, so you don't have to change that, but is one of the men who can help change the world. But the Donald, I mean... Yeah.
How's he going to change it though? Could be for the better.
Well, get that FIFA Peace Prize. Get that FIFA Peace Prize under your belt, and then surely that will propel him to do more great things.
You can't.
Or some great things.
Cristiano also said recently that he didn't believe that Lionel Messi was a better player than him, and that he can't be humble on this matter. I believe it was in one of the most extraordinarily appalling interviews that Piers Morgan has done. I was going to
say, sounds about.
It was embarrassing. Piers Morgan, isn't Piers Morgan like in his 60s? And he's still like sidling up to Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he might have turned up to Cristiano Ronaldo's interview wearing Ronaldo's aftershave and then mentioning it. It's embarrassing. But I think if there was a debate still about Cristiano versus Messi, you can't see Lionel Messi sidling up to Donald Trump. You can't see that happening. No. So I mean, that should settle it once and for all.
Yeah, Messi's. I mean, he's not perfect. Let's be clear about that. And
don't need to be, do you, to be better than Cristiano? Though.
It would be funny though if Messi won the FIFA Peace Prize for some reason, but I don't think it's going to happen. But there we are. Our money's on Donald Trump. We'll see what happens on the 5th of December. All eyes on the Peace Prize.
I think we should give away a Pete's Prize.